Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to start with a reality check for my colleagues, for people watching back at home, that the individuals most responsible for smuggling fentanyl across our borders are not migrants. In fact, in prior years, American citizens have accounted for more than 86%. The statistics has been thrown around a lot. It looks like it's not sticking for everybody. 86% of fentanyl tracking convictions at the border have been U.S. citizens, not foreign nationals, not undocumented immigrants, and not asylum seekers, Americans. And Dr. Salisbury, have you seen any evidence that the expansion of legal pathways for immigration would bring more fentanyl into this country?
Current legal pathways or pending?
Current legal pathways.
So no, HSI looks to identify any and all pathways that get exploited. So no, we have not.
So the answer is no.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. And instead of shutting down our asylum system, like some folks on this panel have, suggested, and people are suggesting, we have to strengthen the way that we process most vulnerable populations seeking help, which is a right, at our border. In 2020, CBP rolled out the CBP One phone app in an attempt to streamline border processing. And I'm just going to kind of continue on the line that Ms. Ocasio-Cortez was talking about. The CBP One app has been plagued with racial bias concerns and other issues that have hindered legitimate applications, migrants, and asylum seekers. The app also requires migrants to have a smartphone, to have strong cell service, to have a Wi-Fi signal, and it's been called by some people the asylum ticket master because of the high rates of failure and difficulty for folks to obtain an appointment. This is something that really concerns me, especially as a former ACLU staffer, thinking about people's civil rights, civil liberties, and the ability for people to seek asylum at the border no matter what the color of their skin is. And like it was stated before, we are still receiving information, anecdotes, stories, photos from NGOs at the border that are saying the darker your skin color is, the more difficult it is for you to use this app and be processed in a timely manner. Commissioner Sabatino, what is CBP doing to make the app more equitable and accessible? I know you said that it's been handled and that's being worked on, but we're still receiving these anecdotes. We're still receiving these stories from NGOs. What are y'all doing to remedy this?
No, certainly looking and evaluating all of the data that we have available to us. And again, what we saw with respect to the data errors wasn't related to the biometric facial matching. It was liveness detection, and it was a capacity issue. And over the last several weeks, we've made that enhancement, limiting the number of people required in a group to do that liveness detection, which has significantly cut down on those data errors. With respect to the populations that we're seeing for the Title 42 exceptions, we can say that the predominant population has been Venezuelans, followed by Haitians. We've also seen a significant increase since the enhancements to the app of family units or groups traveling to the border. I personally had the opportunity to speak to several NGOs in South Texas that were highlighting these challenges that were relayed to us. And again, we're continually evaluating the performance of the application.
With Title 42 expiring in May, do you know whether CBP is exploring other technologies or process to streamline the border process? Because from what we've heard, it's moving towards everything being on the app.
And the goal for us with leveraging the application, again, this is to limit the data entry and the administrative burdens on CBP officers and make it a more streamlined process to ensure that they have the time to do what they need to do.
Exactly, and I think it being a streamlined process is important for everyone. But what we're seeing, again, from NGOs, the photos, the stories we're getting, is that it's not streamlined for people who have darker skin. Commissioner Sabatino, how is CBP addressing the technological bias against people with darker skin tones with the CBP One app?
I think certainly working with our partners south of the border, directly with the NGOs, as well as our partners in the government of Mexico on ways to support and streamline and enhance bandwidth. We do see that, not to say every single individual has a phone, but it is very prevalent that individuals have access to at least a smartphone that we have encountered, in the operations.
Thank you.
But the bandwidth issues do fall in Mexico, and we're working with them.
Thank you. I'm also concerned about individual privacy as OFO implements the technology of facial recognition at airports, corporations, airlines having access to the databases. And what we're seeing is that they're not necessarily complying with restrictions on retaining on the retention of that of this facial recognition information for commercial use. Commissioner Sabatino, what steps has CBP taken to ensure that its external parties do not exploit and misuse traveler photos and information?
We have published a number of privacy impact assessments. We're trying to be as transparent as possible as to what is done with the data, how is it used, how is it transferred, how is it stored, and those are publicly available on the DHS website. But also, as part of a GAO recommendation going back several years, we do conduct audits. But our partners don't have access to our database, our airline partners. They simply take a photo, it goes behind the CBP firewall, and is matched to a photo that's in a pre-existing gallery based on the advanced passenger information that we have. And that photo is templatized. It can't be reverse engineered or exploited. But we do audits of our partners to ensure that they aren't retaining that photo, but there's no biographic information also attached to those photos. And certainly offer, again, a more fulsome briefing on the biometric comparison program.
I yield back.
Thank you.